What's going on, guys? Welcome to MLB The Show 26. Welcome to the best settings you could possibly have based on my preference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each and every setting and I can show you guys exactly what I use and explain it better, just in case if you guys don't really know what some of these new settings might mean. Okay, so first thing, when you load up the game, you're going to go over here. I mean, you're going to get this screen always, but you should probably always just stick to competitive just because. Obviously this means nothing, but if you guys want extra brownie points, use the New York Yankees. For hitting difficulty and pitching difficulty, that doesn't really matter at this moment. I guess do whatever you feel like is best. If you're brand new to the game, I really do recommend using the beginner and kind of working your way up. I do find that the I don't know if you guys ever use dynamic difficulty, but especially in cases where you don't really know where you stand, dynamic difficulty is definitely one of the better settings that you could possibly have. I like to keep mine up here at Go. Don't really use Go anymore, but like the flex, I guess. And for right now, I'm just going to keep the dynamic difficulty at off because I really don't need to change it at any point. Starting off, we're going to go with hitting. We're going to go over each hitting interface and see what that does for you guys. For me, personally, I use zone, but other options is fixed zone, which also has a stick dead zone option, which will sometimes help you, I guess, adjust the unintentional PCI movement when you have some stick drift. Big zone is, I would say, like the combination of a zone hitting and directional. Personally, I wouldn't use this, but based on what they were showing on their little stream, I do think it's very beneficial if you are on let's say, what is it, directional, to at least give big zone a try and kind of help you out, because that kind of leads you towards, it's like kind of the medium between zone hitting and directional. So I would definitely give that a go if you're not already on zone. And obviously we all know directional, it's pretty basic, the most basic hitting in the game. I would recommend not being on this. At least move to big zone and try that out, because there's just no way you'll improve on directional. It's not a good one. I think they did buff timing a little bit, but I still wouldn't use it, because I think the less work you have to do within hitting or pitching, to be fair, they will not reward you as much. Like big zone, like you cannot get a perfect, I'm pretty sure they said, which is definitely a disadvantage. So I would always just stick to zone, but if you want to work your way up, this is not a bad idea. So I'm going to go back to zone. What we have here is PCI sensitivity, which is a brand new feature in MLB The Show. And my personal thoughts on PCI sensitivity after watching some content creators play it is, I'm not too sure. You know, I really like the idea of PCI sensitivity, but with what we have with control freaks and what we have with precision rings, I really do think that it could almost lead towards more unnecessary. But for the most part, I mean, I still haven't tried it out to the fullest, and I'm still gonna have a precision ring on. But when I saw AJ use this, I saw him use a really low setting, and it was almost like it was delayed, because it's not the overall speed, or it's not the overall speed like how it goes. Like it'll go slow, but not that slow, but it still has to get to the opposite side of the zone. I'll make sure to make it more clear when I'm showing you guys in game. I just personally think it's best to leave the PCI sensitivity at its highest and just try to work with that. If it's not that good, I would at least minimum go medium or halfway through, because anything less would kind of feel a little awkward, and I would not recommend that for you guys. All right, this is how your PCI is gonna look. Personally, I think there is no difference what you use, but my personal one, I cannot never get over bat. Bat is my favorite center PCI, because I just really try to focus on that little circle in the middle. You know, with the others, it's kind of like, you know, how there's 3 stages of each of them. So I really do like sticking to the basic bat. Sometimes it can get a little distracting, but I think overall having like a bat sort of PCI is very beneficial to keep it very minimal. That being said, I would turn off completely PCI inner and turn off PCI outer. If you still kind of wanted a PCI inner or outer to kind of see where you're at, I would at least use the PCI fade out option. Previous years they did this by percentage, but you'd probably keep this around 50%, which would be around here. That's where I usually keep it. And then for the color, it doesn't really matter. You know, I've kind of mixed around for everything, but I've seen everyone use either yellow, red, or white. So usually I will stick with white, so that's what I'm gonna do now. PCI anchor. You know, as someone who overthinks a lot when they're hitting, I think just keeping it off, or at least in free, and not using any of these presets is fine. I just love free. I think it's very simple. I just use it to my advantage whenever I can. Free anchor reset, I always do game, because might as well. If I find something I like, I don't like trying to change it every single batter, and you could always reset it by just pressing the left stick. And this is one of the new features as well, which is called anchor mirror, which means your anchor will always stay where you previously set it. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you could have this on. I don't really see the difference between these two. I believe it could be game by game, but I'd have to see in game as well. But for the most part, this really also doesn't matter for me. Guest pitch, this is more of an offline mode, so we're not going to really go over it. Swing input buttons, I've seen a lot of people use analog flick or stride, but I just always think that button's always the best way to go. Base running interface, I've seen a lot of people use each one of these, but I think the best is the classic. There's nothing like more easier than just to point at your runner and just control where they go if you need to do that. So I would just keep everything at analog. And I'm pretty sure this is just more of like an offline thing where they talk about like maybe Road to the Show or something like that, like where it doesn't really matter. So I kind of would always just stick to analog regardless anyways. Auto base running, I mean, offline you should turn it off. Auto sliding, you should turn it off. Do everything yourself. I think it's way more fun when you make your own decisions. And with the CPU, it's not perfect. It won't make perfect decisions. And the best opportunity, I mean, at least if you were to get out, at least it was you and not the CPU, because I'm sure you would get mad if the CPU got you out. All right, now we're moving on to pitching. Let's go over pinpoint last. We're gonna go from what they reward you the least to what they reward you the best. So the least rewarding input would obviously be classic, because all you have to do is pick the general direction and deliver the pitch. So this obviously will have the biggest par, and obviously for online reasons it wouldn't be too good. Maybe offline would be nice and quick, but I would not stick to that. Pulse would be the next least rewarding option. It's a pretty simple thing. They will reward you for tougher things, which is why they do have these settings in different stances. Pure analog, this used to be my favorite. This was my jam back in MLB The Show 20 before pinpoint. I always rocked this one. It never let me down. I just had a good time with pure analog. Not the easiest, and the par is still pretty big, but you know, can't ever go wrong with pure analog. Meter is the second most rewarding option, but it's also the hardest option. You can talk about pinpoint all you want. There is nothing harder than getting that little yellow thing, especially when your pitchers can change based on their confidence, based on their stamina. I just don't think there's ever a reason to ever use meter. It's really hard, and it's not even the most rewarding one. And obviously the most rewarding one would be pinpoint. I personally think it's like very easy to go over the tutorial, and I can even show you guys what I mean. They did change some things with pinpoint, delaying a little bit, so delaying the pitcher's animations so the pinpoint can go slower, because I know the biggest thing for last year was a lot of people were not using or not liking Tarek Skubal or Clayton Kershaw because of their quick release when they're in the stretch. Pitching ball marker, they have chevron fade off, pitch trail. Everyone either goes chevron or pitch trail. I honestly, this is a preference. I like chevron sometimes, but for the most part, I always stick to pitch trail. This is also a new setting, and I do want to try it out offline. It's the fixed pitch location, and the description just says the pitch location will snap back to the center upon release of L. So what it basically means is that it's just gonna stay in the direction or in the location that you put it in. I want to see if it was online. I didn't really hear about that, but I'll go try it on both. Pitcher delivery, wind up and stretch. I don't really see a need for this change. The wind up and stretch option, obviously, it was a normal one. Stretch only, I don't know. I just feel like there was not too many annoying windups, and I feel like for the most part, the more annoying windups was very minimal compared to the relievers. This is just pitch comm. This is the offline modes. I would turn it on, honestly, just to try it out. For fielding, we're going to start with throwing interface. They go over button accuracy, analog buttons. Buttons is the very easy one. Analog is a little more tougher, but you use your analog instead of your buttons, and you point to the direction of the bag. And then button accuracy, which is my favorite. I think you should all try this one. Obviously, it shows you right there, like, just get to the green as much as you can. The more practice, the better it will be for you guys. I just don't think that using button or analog is very beneficial, and especially with like bad fielders, you will have a lot more errors than you would make than you were using button accuracy. I'm not gonna really go over some of these player lock ones, but throw canceling on, always turn it on. All you have to do is press the button twice if you want to cancel it. It makes getting people in a rundown so easy, because everyone freaks out when they're in a rundown. For the most part, I wouldn't really touch these. None of these settings really do matter. I would obviously keep auto fielding off and auto throwing off. Same thing with auto infield jump reactions and dives. There's no reason to turn these off. For controller settings, they just have the vibration option. I would just turn this off. I definitely do think that it's easier to hit when there's nothing like vibrating in your hands. I think it's very easy to control. Moving on for general, I don't really want to go over this too much because everything here I never really touch. So this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. I mean, some of these options, if you play some franchise or Road to the Show or something, this will definitely benefit you, but I like to keep everything like normal because it's nothing really changes with the offline modes. But I will say the new ABS challenge system does look really cool, so if you were to use personalized, I would definitely turn on the ABS system. Pitch clock, again, same thing, like whatever your preference is. If you're looking for a more realistic more of a realistic experience, then you would definitely know what to do here. Same thing with wind, so we're all good here. All right, now we're on hitting view. My favorite and everyone's favorite, strike zone. It's right there, it's in your face, you love it. It's just very easy to see the ball compared to other ones. I don't know how people use anything else, but people would actually move a little bit. So I've seen people use, and myself use, strike zone high sometimes. Just try whatever you like, but I don't even want to go over the other ones because I just know that strike zone high and strike zone's my favorite ones. Hitting depth of field, I'm going to show this in game, but this is such a really cool aspect in the game, and I'm going to turn it on for now, but it's all, again, preference, but the fact that it is online and offline, I'm very, very excited to see what that's like. In-play view, medium. I like to keep the in-play view for offense. I like to keep that usually towards medium. For the sake of some home runs, dynamic looks really cool. But for the most part, I really like seeing where the ball is and not kind of guessing if someone's going to get there, so I like to keep it at medium. Pitching view, pitching's my kryptonite sometimes, so I don't know. I usually would just stick to the same strike zone, but if you want to kind of move out of the zone or kind of switch things up, I would try strike zone 2 or 3 or some of the broadcast options. All these custom options won't be available online, so I would just try, again, strike zone 2, strike zone 3. Offset was a good one I've seen, but you know, preference. And for the fielding view, again, I would either keep it at high or medium. There's no reason to me to use dynamic. Broadcast does look a little cool. I've seen other people use it, but for me, it's not for me. And this doesn't really matter. Like, this doesn't matter at all. Okay, so this is the ambush hitting controls. So it gives you more of like more options, I guess, with ambush hitting. You can now turn it off completely, which is something I might do because I really never use ambush. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the ambush zone indicator, which is to display the ambush zone indicator, but hide the ambush hitting controls. I don't know why it sounds like a caveman wrote that, but hitting info, I really don't care for this. I usually just take it off because I think the more things on your screen, the more distracted you can get. Okay, so for pitch history, they always have the normal ones, but now they added a customs where you can change the plot colors, the plot fill, the plot text, the plot filler, and the plot situation. And pitching and fielding, I really don't touch here. If you guys want to just look at this, actually for fielding, I will change a few things. Let's see. Player shield display, I like to do the shields. The reaction display. The reaction display, I'm pretty sure, is when you if your fielder does not react to the ball in time, it just gives you the heads up that they did not get that. The catch position indicator, people always use drifting ball, but I just do like track ball because it's just there and you just know where to go always. You can turn these on if you need more help with fielding, but for the most part, I really don't use it. Okay, and under shared, now we have strike zone, swing feedback, post pitch info, confidence and energy bars, and base running diamond. All these should be turned on. There's no reason why you should be turning these off unless, again, you want a realistic experience, but I do like every single one of these settings and you should not be turning them off. For other, we do have in-game notifications. Again, you could always turn that on and off, but again, it's all preference, but I always like to keep them on. This is more for the dynamic crew, so now they have progress, game start, new level, so I would just go over those options, see what works for you. Scoreboard display, obviously you would want this on. This just has to do with the game log and how it's displayed, so nothing too crazy there. Presentation mode, I do like broadcast. Like this is way more for offline than online, but you know, fast play moves like an online game, and broadcast, I would just stick to either hybrid or broadcast, but I love broadcast. All these, though, again, more preferences. Like this is just straight up preferences. I do like they give you the opportunity to change the home run down camera. So honestly, I was thinking about turning this off. I'm gonna turn this off for now because offline I really don't care. But let's see how that goes. I want to see how it is. because I think it's more of an authentic experience when it doesn't like just change camera angles. All right, here's a big one. People, I don't know, people like their music, again, preference people. For me as a streamer, I always change this. Okay, mono audio, it really depends if you are using a single earphone, or just if one of your headphone ears don't work. It will put all the audio instead of having like kind of a 3D audio experience. Again, more preference, whatever you like to do. Pitch calm, I definitely think you guys should at least try it before you click off of it, because it's kind of it's nice, and they actually added a volume button for that, so you could try that as well. But for me, I'm turning everything down. For me, commentary volume, I love the commentary. Crowd volume, I'm gonna keep a little high, because not high, but like enough where you can hear something, because if you play just like sounds from the bat, you're kind of crazy. And then again, sound effects, like I'll just keep up here. Menu sound effects, they also added a menu sound effect, which is really cool. I want to keep it a little lower, but that's nice to have. Soundtrack music volume, I again turn this off. There's no reason for me to have this on, but if you want to listen to things, you go right ahead. They did add some more sound effect volumes, music volumes, and fan yell volumes. Yeah, I'm so glad they gave you the option, because I'm pretty sure with the sound effect that you won't be able to hear other people's specified custom sound effects, and that include the very annoying ones. Umpire volume, that's a good one too, but I'll keep that there. I'll just leave it there. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. More accessibility options, vibration we turned off before, closed captioning, again, depends. And then this is more audio, so same thing here. And this is basically based on player lock, and for the most part, like franchise or some road to the show options. If you play more of that, I would go more into it. They did a new arbitration and renewable options. Challenge of the week, they do have a leaderboard display. The new settings all around. I really do appreciate that, because a lot of these are a good change. Okay, now we're gonna go into a game and try out the new settings. I'm just gonna go over the hitting and the pitching so I can easily show you guys more of a visual. So they ended up showing the depth of field option, which looks really cool to me. I think it looks really cool. Nothing wrong there. I really do like how it's just very concentrating on the bat. But like I said, this is zone hitting, and we're gonna go over to the next one. Now this is big zone. Now you can see, I believe it was 9 options that you could choose from, and for the most part, like I said, I would like to just keep it the way I was with zone, but if you want to, it never hurts to try this stuff. This is the button select. Like I said, it's a little too complicated for my liking. Obviously you don't want to have auto base running on, you want to have that experience for yourself, but analog select I would always go for. And here are more of the pitching ones. I'm gonna go over pinpoint for a little bit, because I want to show you guys my little tip. So for you guys, if you're not used to pinpoint, just follow the little example they show, the little demo. They always show you a good demo like that, and they never fix this part of it. So it's a little tip. But there's that. I'm not really going to go over meter or all these, because I feel like everyone kind of understands that to the most part. Fielding, again, I just picked trackball because it was just very easy for me. And I think it would be very easy for you. I think the drifting ball can be a little deceiving sometimes, so I would like to stick to that. So it just stays in the same place. Depending on the fielding, that blue thing might be a little smaller or bigger, but I just like how it's just in the same place. And again, the crucial one for me is the button accuracy one. I really do like just having that extra human element to that. It just makes you a little better, and it makes just the game overall like more in your control. Well, last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try out the little PCI sensitivity. I definitely want, oh yeah, like it just really slow. I don't know. I think let me just keep trying a little more and more. I don't know. It's fucking me up. Like that just is just not a good way to go at it. It's just not a good way to go at it. But let me try one more swing. Yeah, no, it's not. It's just messing me up way too much. So now I'm gonna try 50%. This doesn't feel bad. You could definitely feel the difference. Like it's a little slower, but it's definitely not as slow as it could be when it's all 1%. So I might have changed my mind on that a little bit. Obviously the quick one I might stick with, but honestly I might move it down depending on how I do. And obviously we know the fast one, the quick one, the one that's usually active. So I just want to see if there's anything different. I mean, it does feel like quicker, like honestly, like just how fast I move my PCI there. I know sometimes you don't want to move your PCI too fast, but some days you just need to be as quick as possible, and I think that having it at the best or the highest is the best way to go. That's gonna wrap it up for the video today. I appreciate you guys for hanging by. Thank you guys so much if you guys got all the way over here. please feel free to drop a like and a comment to see if you want to see anything specifically. We'll definitely look over the comments and look at suggestions. So please let me know how you guys felt about the video and what you want to see. I'm getting ready to have a nice little pack opening and probably get something out for you guys in the near future. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.